Okay, guys. Yeah. You guys are all gonna laugh at me. I'm gonna get all these comments, and I'm prepared for them. I know. I know. I got myself a little High Point C9. Guys. Okay, guys. So in reality, I'm not gonna bore you guys to death. You guys have seen so many videos of these as to how they work, how they function, all that good stuff. Blah blah blah. So in reality, I'm not gonna bore you with that. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit as to why I decided to purchase this gun, and also why I think a lot of you guys should really consider this gun, because in reality, it's a good gun. It gets the job done, and usually for under $200 in most cases, you're getting yourself a gun that you can protect your household, protect your loved ones, and be a little safe in your own home or wherever the case may be. Now, this, mind you, is not a concealed carry type of gun. This is not a gun that I would tell you guys to conceal carry or try to use for long periods of time, because it is pretty freaking heavy. It's almost 32 ounces. And of course, it's not as good as this. This is a M&P Shield. Let's not even compare it to that, okay? But what this is a good gun for you to defend yourself in case, if you happen to be short on cash. You happen to be one of those people that hey, you're trying to make ends meet, but you need something to be able to protect your family with. I paid $162 for this, and I'll explain to you guys why I got it for $162, especially coming in the state here in California. We have a tendency of paying twice as much as most other people do, just because it's just the way it is. We pay for everything more here, even for gas. You guys have seen that shit. It's crazy. But I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about how I ended up getting this gun, and really what happened is that the state of California has this list. It's the approved list that the Department of Justice comes up with every fucking year, stating as to which guns are passed the drop test and all that other bullshit, and are that you can actually sell in the state of California. So High Points, who happens to be in this list for years, these guys have been there for a long time. Well, we ended up getting some news that stating that High Point was coming off the list. So I contacted High Point and I told them, "Hey man, are you guys really coming off the list?" And they told me, "No, we are actually already paid we already sent a check to the Department of Justice. They already cashed it, so we're just waiting for them to update the list." So obviously these guys did not update the list until like the 2nd or 3rd of January. But prior to this, like a week prior to, oh no, a week after Christmas, when a lot of the gun shops around here heard that these guys were coming off the list, they kind of started selling these guns like crazy, like real cheap. Because in reality, most of these guns, they sell them at like $225. I know, and you guys are saying that's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot for a High Point here in California. But they ended up dropping them down to 162 out the door with everything, taxes and the transfer fee and all that. So I was like, I'm taking it. So I went into the gun shop and I bought this bad boy. But I started doing a little bit of research of this company. I started trying to understand why people hate this gun so much, when in reality it's a good gun, man. I mean, it's not made for looks. It's made to protect you, to do its job. I mean, it's a blowback type of pistol, so therefore it uses a bigger slide. And of course, that's like the main concern that people always complain about, is the weight. I get it. I understand that it is a heavy gun, but to be honest with you, it's no better or worse than Beretta 92. And I had that thing on for like a year and a half in Iraq, and the weight, you get used to it, and it's not bad. It is heavy, but it's manageable, guys. I think a lot of people make it seem like it's a gun that's extremely heavy, but 32 ounces is something I mean, although it is heavy, it's something that's manageable. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit as to why I think you guys really should consider this gun. And I started doing a little bit of research on the actual company, guys, and I found some interesting stuff here. So let me take you over here to my Mac, and I started looking into the name of this company is called. If you look at it right here, it says Strassel's Machine Inc. Right, and I started doing some research. I'm like Strassel's Machine Inc. So I went onto Google Maps or Google Images or whatever, and I noticed that this is High Point's headquarters. It's a little tiny building, man. This is the building. This is High Point's building. It's a warehouse with a couple other buildings in here. So I take it that this is probably the production, and this is probably where the offices are at, or this are the offices, and this is the other stuff that they use for repairs or whatever the case may be, or shipping or whatever. But I was like, this is crazy. I can't believe that a company that is known all these years is such a small little company. But then I started doing some more research, guys, and I found out that this company is very, very small. It's obviously it's in Mansfield, Ohio, right? But if you guys look at it, it's a single location, industrial and commercial machinery equipment. Okay, it's a private ownership. It's been around since 1987, and their average sales are between 1 million to 5 million. But what really struck me as odd is that you look at the employees between 10 and 20. So 10 and 20. So High Point, High Point employs between 10 and 20 people in their Mansfield location. And these people must go through these guns and make them so quick. And I mean, they don't make them like real cheap, guys. These are still very well made guns. Like I compare this freaking gun to what is that freaking gun? I think it was called the Liberator, the one that was made in World War II, the single shot 45 caliber stamp machine pistol that was made for the European theater. Well, I consider this more like that. Like, if you really think about it, these can be, if for some reason, God forbid, we ever get into a war with another country, but you think about it, these can be manufactured so cheaply and massively that you can pretty much arm every American with this damn gun, you know? Now, guys, there's always certain things, certain flaws about every gun. And High Point is no different. And I'm gonna tell you guys, and I'm definitely gonna tell High Point, and just I really hope that High Point does watch this video. But these are just suggestions that I would tell High Point. Is obviously we know that you can't do nothing about the weight issue, and that's fine and dandy, but if they can make the slide, look a little bit sleeker, less top heavy, in height, it would be a lot easier. If they can make the serrations a little bit better, maybe a little longer with little waves, so it's easier for the shooter to manage the slide, would be great. Also, the ejection port, if it could be maybe a little bit bigger here on the top portion, it'd be better. For some reason, I noticed that sometimes the way once you start shooting this gun, the way it ejects different, or it starts having issues with jamming. So if it have a bigger port over here on the top slide, it might make it a little bit better. Obviously, the grips. I mean, a lot of us don't like these really slick grips. They're not the greatest in the world. And the trigger is very Mattel look like. I mean, this looks like it was made of Mattel. Like freaking toy company made that. If they could just make it one solid piece where it just doesn't look so freaking, so it looks like one of these toy guns, and I ain't gonna lie to you. That's one thing that does bother me about the trigger. Although the trigger is not bad, I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, you have to get used to it, but it's manageable. Another thing that I would definitely suggest to High Point, and I took this off, but I really hate this stupid sticker. I really hate the sticker that you guys put on the damn on the actual grip. It's crappy as hell, man. I really hate it. I wish that there was maybe a way that you guys can do maybe a different type of warning label, like the ones that Sig Sauer makes. You know, where it goes around the actual grip, and people can just slide it out, and it has all your warning information and all that. Other than that, those are the things that I would definitely suggest to a High Point. Actually, one more, the trigger guard. If it was maybe a little bit bigger, it would be perfect because I have small hands, and even for me, I wish there was just a little more space in there, you know. So that would be something that I would tell High Point if they could improve on. But overall, guys, you know, you guys really need to look at this gun. And the way I look at this gun, it's a good home defense gun. It is very particular on certain things, obviously, right? Oh crap! Damn! Don't break my granite, Jesus Christ. Anyways, well, guys, you know what? You can't put cheap ammo on this bad boy. It does not like cheap ammo. Do not put any steel ammo. Do not put any. Sometimes it even has some issues with Winchester white box. I don't know why, but right now I got Spear gold dots on this bad boy, and and I know that they will work. So one thing that I can tell you about this gun, it does not like cheap ammo. So it's a cheap gun, but don't like cheap ammo. Go figure. Oh, another thing, if High Point could really look into this, is making this magazine much better. So many people have so many issues with this thing because I think this is really the biggest reason why a lot of people dislike this gun, because they start getting jams and all kinds of stuff, and then people start messing with the magazine where they're opening the lips, or they're taking out the spring and then some sort of way of tapering it so see if it's gonna feed better. All I can tell you guys, you start having problems with this shit, just send it back to High Point and see if they can exchange you for some other magazines. I'm sure that they're good for it, or you know, or just go to High Point and buy some more. But you know, I think if more people start complaining and start telling High Point, look, you guys need to make better magazines, or you know what, if you just put this magazine in the gun, I have no problem with it, but give me the option of buying a better magazine for it. Like, let's say you have a premium freaking magazine, whatever the case may be, and let's say I paid $35 for it. But if I pay $35 for it, you know, I want to make sure that it works and that it's well made, you know. So those are my suggestions to High Point. And the reason I'm making these suggestions, because in reality, I want to see this company continue to be successful. It's an American company, guys. You know, as you guys, I showed you guys, it's a small little company that it makes good guns, and the thing about it is we want to keep those 20 people employed. We really do. I know I really do. So you know, I really hope that a lot of you guys really look at the good and the bad with this gun. I think, to me, in the long run, it has a lot more goods than bads in here, and I really hope that you guys really look into this gun. And I know I'm gonna get my comments where people are talking a lot of crap about buying a High Point C9, but it's all good. I'm okay with it. Oh, and also another thing, let me go back to this High Point magazine again. I notice a lot of people have a lot of issues with the 10 round magazines, and I don't know why. So tell me some of the issues that you guys have had with the High Point C9. So some of the things that you would suggest for me, because I haven't shot this. I know that the one that my friend had, like I was telling you guys, he has a little 380, and I noticed that sometimes that one shoots a little bit down into the left, and it could be just because I'm not used to the trigger. But just let me know your comments about the type of ammo you guys use, what kind of issues you have with this magazine, whatever the case would be. But let's make sure that we give positive comments, guys. Like I was telling you, the biggest thing is is supporting an American company, guys. That's what we're here all about. That's what we want to make sure that we are definitely trying to to provide here is provide some good feedback for this company, because in reality they make a gun that the working person can buy and still be able to feed his family. So all right, guys, that's all I got on the High Point C9. I hope that you guys really consider this gun or any high point firearm. I know I'm definitely going to buy myself a carbine in the near future. So, I mean, there's a couple of things that I'll do to this gun just to make it a little bit more my taste, or make it more comfortable for me. But, stay tuned, and I'll tell you guys, I'll definitely give you guys an update on this, and what are my impressions with it, and what are some of the issues that I've had with it. But in the meantime, guys, thanks for everything. Thanks for watching. I know I kind of ranted a lot on this video, but I think there's a lot of good information that needed to be put out. So, all right, guys, that's all I got. God bless you. God bless the United States of America, and I'm out.